Hi, I'm Amanda from Integrative Healing with Amanda Butler. I provide energy healing combined with psychological perspectives to facilitate a deeper connection with the divine within. And today we're going to be doing a clearing for healing work. This is around healing any kind of workplace situations that might be going on, interactions with supervisor, manager, coworkers, clients, things like that. And maybe healing like the relationship to work overall, like where some people can become workaholics and that's kind of an addiction. It's all they want to do. And maybe it's a way of, not feeling other things that would be hard to feel, or if like you have to work really hard, work a lot of hours just to make ends meet, clearing around that too. And this, well, the main thought behind this is around, healing a job, healing around work where it's a job where you're working for someone else, have to go into an office and that kind of thing, or work from home because that's still a thing. This is healing around any kind of work, whether it's paid or unpaid, whether it's, work you do for a company, whether it's work you do as someone who is self-employed with your own business, or whether it's some kind of unpaid work you do like as a stay-at-home parent or things like that. And so the inspiration behind this clearing is well, one, it's this quote from Sigmund Freud that I really like, and he said, "Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness." And working in psychology as a marriage and family therapist, I have really seen the truth in that in a lot of ways. And I mean, say what you will about Freud. There are a lot of his theories that a lot of people don't really resonate with, but I do think he had a lot of insights into a lot of areas of life as I've studied his work and his ideas as part of my education. Anyway, and so work is one of those big archetypal stories in our society. And by archetypal, I'm referring to universal patterns of human experience. Almost everybody has experience doing some kind of work, and a lot of the time it's pretty negative. There are a lot of stories in our society, especially in like American society with Hollywood and, movies, TV shows, all of that. Like one of my favorite movies of all time, Office Space, is kind of this very negative, has this very negative attitude toward work. It's this very dark comedy about all the ways work sucks. And that's like the tagline on the poster is "Work sucks." And I've worked at a lot of companies that were like the company in Office Space. So there's something to all of this. And what we want to do is transform that story to where work can be something positive, something fulfilling. And if what you're doing right now is not feeling that way, then maybe there are some steps you can take to do something that is more in alignment with, what would bring you more joy and more meaning. And so we're just clearing around work in any ways that needs to be cleared because it is part of our lives. Most people do need to work, and we often spend a lot of time at work. So if this can be shifted to be a happier, more fulfilling kind of experience in some way so that, I don't know, there's less of a feeling of negativity and struggle and ugh, this sucks, I have to go to work. That's not a pleasant way to be feeling. And so let's clear to shift to make work feel more pleasant. And let's go ahead and get started. We're going to prep to work. This is asking permission from your soul to do the clearing. Like knocking on the door to be polite, make sure we have permission. And this is like my higher self and your higher self working together to clear what needs to be cleared. Okay, let's see. Okay, so where do we start? Okay, we're starting with giving freedom. This is a modality that has 33 charts. It was created by Mary Jean Chadwick with Chris Stavru and Karen Kent, and it's available for purchase at givingfreedom.us if you would like to learn this modality for yourself. Okay, and so starting with chart 2, expanded love, seeing what we need to clear there. Clearing around sincerity, clearing any vows of silence, where like maybe it's not okay to speak up about like a situation in the workplace that isn't working for you. Maybe if you do speak up, there's some kind of win-win resolution that can be applied to the situation so things can be resolved. Bringing in more of a sense of trust, greater concern in a positive way. Moving on to chart 4, spiritual wounding. Raise self-esteem. Bringing in more friendliness towards self and others. Clearing any unforgiveness. Raising self-esteem, like for a lot of people, they might feel like maybe they're not very successful, or maybe that their job isn't something that's very prestigious or something like that. And that can cause some difficulties with self-esteem. So clearing to raise self-esteem. Moving on to chart 8, turning point. Replace patterns with new. And so replacing old patterns that are no longer working, any old negativity, things like that, with something that works better and something that feels better, something that feels more sincere and more authentically you. Maybe even being able to find work that is more authentically you and that you have more of a sincere interest in, if that's something that would benefit you and would be in alignment with your highest good. Okay, clearing up on chart number 12, soul entanglements. Spontaneous healing of belief, shattering the paradigm of false limits. And there are a lot of things around work and career and jobs and that kind of thing that can feel very limited. And so bringing in that spontaneous healing, that shattering of that paradigm, clearing, anything that needs to be cleared around separation from others as far as the work situation, like if there are things going on with colleagues or managers or supervisors that aren't working, clearing unworthiness, clearing again for more self-esteem, and clearing so that there's even room for joy in the workplace situation. Okay. Chart 14, I am level consciousness. Life nourishes and supports. And I feel like this is really powerful, this idea of things in life that can be cleared to feel more nourishing and more supportive, and work being one of those. And again, going back to that idea of love and work, right? I've done a lot of videos around things related to love, and there are some of those that can also be related to workplace and career, calling, purpose, that kind of thing. And a lot of those things, like situations related to love, situations related to work, are things that often don't feel nourishing to people, that feel draining. And so creating a shift to where this can, like work, can feel nourishing and supportive. Okay. On to chart 14, clearing any fatigue, or it can be exhausting sometimes. And if it's something where it's this just constantly stressful grind, you know, that idea of hustle and grind, like work a million hours and never take a break until you've made it, like that kind of thing that has kind of permeated society, you know, in a lot of ways in recent years, kind of clearing around that as well. Like, so there can be balance, work-life balance, so that work can feel sustainable. Moving on to chart 16, overcoming PTSD. And for a lot of people, maybe there are traumatic experiences related to work, either in this life or other lifetimes. So clearing any PTSD related to work. Okay, so we're at about 80% with this modality. Let's see where we go next. Chart 20, accepting grace. Feeling tolerance for self, for others, for situations. Being able to stick something out that maybe isn't working, or doesn't seem like it's working because there's something about it that is, that maybe the soul wants to learn something from. I remember this great class I took with this woman who was a psychic reader, and she was talking about angels and guides and talking about the instance of, you know, maybe someone asks their guidance team for help finding the right job, and the exact right thing maybe isn't available right away, but they maybe help the person find something else that's just for a while, like, okay, stick this out until we can get you aligned for that better thing. And so kind of bringing in that idea. So clearing any total body resistance, clearing for immersion in water, like a washing away, rinsing away, clearing away, washing away through immersion in water of like all of the pain, maybe all of the upsetting experiences, clearing for that to be kind of rinsed away, to feel free of that. Clearing on chart 29, anxiety. Again, often very intertwined with work. Okay, chart 31, feeling. Clearing around the surroundings. And so this feels to me like anything in the surroundings of the work environment that aren't working. Creating a shift there in the surroundings. And maybe if you're working from home and that's starting to be a drag, maybe seeing if you can change up your surroundings, maybe put up some pictures or some quotes that are inspiring, or, something like that, for a shift in surroundings, something that feels better. And clearing around any deepest fears. Again, with work, since it's very tied in with money, there can be a lot of fear related to this, especially of losing a job, then, oh, what am I going to do financially? And so clearing any fears, especially really deep fears that come up around work. Okay, see what else. Okay, our last chart, chart 33, self. Like the higher self, the divine self, the spark of divinity within all of us. Clearing for self-trust. Trust that you can work through what needs to be worked through. Trust that if the situation that you're currently in is not really working for you, that you have the ability and the support to be able to find something that does work better. Okay. So from 0 to 100, how much of this clearing has been done? So 100% done with giving freedom. From 0 to 100 overall, how much of this clearing has been completed? So about 80%. Let's see where we go next to get to 100. Going to GCT. This is a modality by Alexander Dobages of spiritual healing therapy. This is all about being ready for more, being open to more, really bringing in that growth and that expansion to higher levels of consciousness, bringing in more. And these charts are available on her website, spiritualhealingtherapy.com, if you would like to learn this modality for yourself. So, starting on chart number 2, galactic separation, clearing relationship to source. We're always in relationship to source, God, the divine, universe, whatever word you want to use. We are sparks of the divine, parts of source. So we're always in relationship with source. Chart number 5, quantum leap. Clearing for timeline integration. Chart number 11, starseed history. Clearing around the starseed identification. And chart 16, galactic access. Clearing the pathways of galactic access. Chart 23, galactic interferences. Clearing any collective wrath from any external sources. What comes to mind is like angry coworkers, maybe something like that. If we're talking about the workplace. Anything else that's, related to this anger, wrath, that kind of stuff. Universal unity. On chart 26B. Clearing around the story with things like work that are, such a big part of our lives often. It's easy to get caught up in some kind of negative story or, kind of upset narrative about it of like that it sucks and that kind of thing. So clearing around any stories that we're telling ourselves, making way for new, more positive story about it. Chart 31, sacred. Okay. Accepting the truth of love. And so there's the idea that there's love to be found in everything, like even in something negative, there can be like this silver lining of something that is related to love, or the love of the divine. Like if, one of my most negative work experiences where I really didn't like what I was doing, it taught me a lot about what I would rather be doing instead. And there is some love to be found in that in some kind of way. So clearing for accepting the truth of love. And on chart 32, clearing for release. Clearing feeling. Okay, and from 0 to 100, how much of this clearing has been done? 100%. Okay, so that's a wrap for GCT, Galactic Consciousness Therapy. Let's see if there's anything else that can be cleared today. Feels like we're done. And from 0 to 100, how much of this clearing overall has been done? 100%. To 100, how much are you accepting, allowing, receiving this clearing? Okay, so that's a wrap. And as always, with these videos, this is just a sample clearing. So if you would like a deeper clearing, you can reach me on my website, amandabutler.net, and book a full 1 hour or 90-minute clearing there. And if you mention this video, you will receive 10% off any of my services. As usual with the clearing, be sure to drink plenty of water afterward. And again, I hope this clearing is a blessing to you. And if you would like to write in the comments about one of your favorite stories about work, like whether it's a book, a movie, a TV show, something like that, whether it has a positive spin on work or negative or something in between. I love to read comments and I reply, or if you just want to let me know what you thought about this video, I'd love to hear from you. And if this was helpful, give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.